All right, everybody, happy Friday. Cobra Trading here. I want to go over two quick Elliott-Wave scenarios just real quickly. So I was really going by my bearish count for quite some time now, and that actually just ended up getting invalidated just a few days ago. So I had this as a 5-wave sequence down for a 3, and then we were completing a zigzag up to complete a 4th wave here. Now, this count was just invalidated as soon as we broke above 94.35. That invalidated this count. So switching over to my other chart here, this is my bullish scenario, which now looks a lot more likely. This one I wasn't focusing on as much because I really wanted price to move a lot lower. As you guys know, I've been really focusing on 7.7 between 7.7 and 8K for quite some time now, and we keep gaining support and making these higher lows here on our 1-hour chart. So that might not be happening anymore unless this triangle doesn't play out and we end up moving lower and it's just a different bearish count than the one that I first had. So for right now, this is what I've been looking at. This is my bullish count. So I've got a 5 waves up into a 1, a zigzag down into a 2, 5 waves up into a 3, and now a triangle forming a wave 4 before we move higher. So obviously this plays out perfectly. Triangles are inherent to wave 4s. So we're making these lower highs and higher lows. I would expect this to maybe come down and test the bottom trend line of this triangle here, which is about 9,000. But right now we're holding levels pretty good, but we're in kind of a slump here in this volume. So I think if we move much lower than this, there is a good chance that we will test this bottom trend line. But as of right now, we're holding these levels pretty well, despite the low volume typical of a Friday afternoon. So it is about 4 o'clock here on the East Coast. I'm sorry that I'm getting this video out to you guys late. I've been very busy. So in terms of triangles, with what the rules are, as long as C is above, as long as wave E rather is above the C wave, then this is completely valid. It just has to do something like this. We could easily just come down and maybe retest 9,200, but I would really like to see a little bit more downside to have confluence with this count before moving up higher, or to see if we break down. So that's pretty much where I stand on that. On this 1-hour chart, in terms of indicators here, let's take a look at our indicators on the lower time frame. So we've got 2 points of control here. One is at about 9,200. One we're just under right now at about 9,400. So you can see that's where this volume is. And this is why I'm saying that if we start losing support here, our next stop would be about $9,200. So this would definitely be my targeted buy-in for this bullish scenario. And right now we're already in bearish territory on our MACD, and it looks like we're coming in for a cross on our 1-hour MACD here. Our ATR is pretty low. It's ranging between about $50 and $80, so like a $30 average volatility range for our ATR. So obviously we've got our RSI coming downwards and all of that good stuff. So coming over to my other chart here, is it this one? No, this one. My trend line chart. Very, very clear that we're in this triangle yet again. And what's interesting is 9,200 lines right up with the top of this green zone. So this zone is basically a major support and resistance zone that we've been fighting back and forth for quite some time now. And our point of control here, if you zoom way out, is about 88.50. So for the longest time, I've been calling for these 7,700 levels and these 8,000 levels, and there's a good chance that that might end up not happening. So what I would love to see is at least a retest of the top of this really, really long descending channel that we've been in, that I've gone over in my other videos. And the top of that is right at about 9,000 right now. So anywhere between 9,000 and 200 is what I would like to see before breaking up higher and coming up for a really solid chance at sweeping these monthly highs up here that we had right at about 10,100. So If we're able to do that and we come up with some really solid volume and some really good confluence here, I think that there's a solid chance that we could break and start seeing some 4-hour and daily closes above our $10,100 level, and maybe continue up to see our and sweep our 2020 yearly high up there. So one of the other things that I wanted you guys to notice is the reason why I have this wave 1 and the completion of wave 5 all the way up here at around $12,500 is because if you look at wave 1 and you look at wave 3, these are almost the exact same length, which tells me that either wave 3 would be our longest and we get a truncated wave 5 and we see massive resistance at 10,500, or we see a lot of volume coming into the market that we broke through 10,000 again, and that ends up making us see an extended fifth. So this is basically me suggesting that we would be getting an extended fifth off of this and coming up to surpass our 2020 high, sweep our monthly high, sweep our yearly high, and come up for new highs around the $12,000 level, just under the $14,000 level, which we had way back over here. So I would really like to see this. This level, I think up here is the first thing that we have to break through, which is about 10,500. Beyond that, we've got major resistance up at about, you know, this $12,000 to $14,000 range. But I really think that we have a pretty solid chance, if this count ends up playing out here, I really think that we have a solid chance of breaking through that $10,000 level once again, and then sweeping our yearly high here. So stay tuned for that. I hope that you all have a wonderful Friday. Check out all my links in the description below for educational articles on my Medium and stuff like that. If you have any questions, feel free to get a hold of me. All my contact information is in the description below for Twitter and for Discord as well. Happy Friday and happy trading.